Egypt, and we got a dust storm blowing in. So I'm only gonna stay up here for just a second, but I wanna let you know that there are 5 important things that you need to be aware of that people don't tell you about when you have ADHD and live in a big city. Now, I spent most of my adult life living in big cities, dealing with this chaos, the noise, the cell phone towers, and today in Cairo, a massive dust storm blowing in. I mean, check it out, there's just dust on everything, including me. But I always thought that I did better in the cities. I thought that I just was a city boy. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of Phoenix, but I lived in Berlin, I lived in Portland, Oregon, which is not that big, Seattle, I lived in Denver for a little bit. I really loved the cities, but it wasn't until later when I stopped drinking, when I stopped using a bunch of different substances, that I actually realized that the cities weren't really that good for me. The cities might have been good for a little bit, but it was because of all of the stimulation. So today, from the rooftop here in the dust storm, I'm gonna brave the weather and let you know that there are 5 things that you really need to consider about living in a city when you have an ADHD nervous system. So let's talk about the first one. First and foremost, you have a nervous system that is much more sensitive, that is much more open, that has less filters. And so you're really, though we talk about ADHD having a focus problem, your main problem in the big cities is not focus, it's too much input, too much energy, too many different sensory inputs coming in. Now the problem is that all of that sensory data coming in causes you to overload. With the ADHD nervous system, we can handle lots of different data to a point, and then there's a point when things start to shut down. So like right now, what I can hear around me is I've got, of course, the wind whipping, I've got the chimes here on the top of the roof, I've got an international music festival happening nearby, there is horns, we've got the calls to prayer that happens 5 times a day here in this Arabic country, and it is overwhelming. So the issue with focus is not so much the problem of, well, I don't have the right amount of dopamine in my system. It's really more of an issue with there's just too much going on. It can be very stimulating to be in the big city. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of activities, there are all kinds of good things happening. And if you don't know how to properly downregulate, then you're just gonna be fired up all the time and you're not gonna know how to deal with all this extra input. The second thing is cities can feel like they awaken our superpowers. With all this stuff happening, it requires us to be really on point when we're navigating traffic, when we're dodging motorcycles and scooters in the streets. It can feel like with so much going on that we step into this like hyper flow state and end up being super active. We're active, we're on fire, and we're feeling alive. And this is not actually what's happening. You're being required to be in a higher level of threat so that you can be much more awake, active in survival mode. But that survival mode, the parasympathetic nervous system, active over a long period of time, causes tremendous stress to the human body. So what's happening is that you feel good in a city, you feel like you've got so much going on, but you're just chasing dopamine, you're chasing stimulation, and most of the time we end up not feeling rested. So the third point that I want to get to is that even though second is that you're feeling good, you're feeling activated in the city, it burns you out and causes long-term health effects over time. But the third thing is that your burnout is not really a matter of doing too much, it's that you're never down-regulating, right? So if we're up active all the time, even when we're going to bed and we've got the Wi-Fi, we've got right now we've got the dust cloud that's happening here in Cairo. If you've got the noise from the neighbors, you've got the honking, you've got the dogs from the neighbors. If all that's happening and you don't know how to turn your nervous system down, you'll be in a perpetual state of activation. When I used to live in Seattle, which was not actually that intense of a city, but there was always noise happening, I would find myself reaching into the liquor cabinet, 3 days a week, probably on the minimum, just to take a shot of vodka just to go to bed. And no, I'm not at Burning Man. This just happens to be a dust storm that's blowing in right now in Cairo. So my problem was that I was using alcohol, cannabis, and different substances to calm me down. I even thought for a while that nicotine was calming me down, but it didn't really work very well. And so I was going out to substances in order for me to go to sleep, right? I even would look towards self-pleasure to get me to go to sleep, because that would cause that, especially in men, that immediate like heaviness, and I would use that. And so I kept on using all of these substances and these bad habits to try to calm myself down. But the issue is there are ways for you to downshift. Why is it that there's always somebody here that says Jesus is king? I don't know why that is, but I love you guys. So downshifting, downregulating, doing some deep rhythmic breathing practices, learning how to give yourself a slow down rhythm routine. Actually, these are blue light blocking glasses that I use at the end of each night. I'm only using them today to protect my eyes from the dust. But this is really good because once I put these on in the evening, I have a cue that tells my nervous system, hey, we're getting ready for bed and it's time to start winding down. It's actually like initiating the shutdown program on a computer. Now, the fourth challenge about being in a big city is the issue of logistics. So logistics, look, if you live in a big city, you gotta know what train, what metro, what taxi, what streets you need to go on in order to get to where you're going. Yes, you can get everywhere, but those logistics require extra bandwidth. There's decision fatigue. Which way do I go? Do I have to avoid traffic? Am I gonna drive? Am I gonna take my bike? Am I gonna take the subway? All of these things stack up so that you can, after a long day, be completely fried mentally, right? The nervous system issue that you're dealing with when you're dealing with cities is that there's extra friction between you and everywhere that you want to go. And so that extra friction takes energy, takes bandwidth, takes neural processing. And since we have so much more sensitivity and we can get overwhelmed even faster, we find that this is just taxing. It's like living in a city actually is an energetic tax on somebody with an ADHD nervous system, right? So the fifth thing really is about the dose. There's a great expression that comes from, I think, an Austrian physician in the 1600s, and he says, the poison is in the dose, right? This is that one thing that can be medicine for you, if taken too much or in the wrong amount, can actually be detrimental. And the issue with cities, with big cities, is for an ADHD nervous system, the truth is very clear. It's not about whether you should live in a city or not. It's how long can you handle it? What techniques do you have to regulate your nervous system and get you into a state of peace? And when are you getting out? Do you live here part-time? Are you taking weekend trips? Are you taking time to slow your nervous system down? These are all things to consider. For me personally, I don't live in a big city. I can't stand living in a big city. If I were here, I mean, this is a beautiful rooftop apartment that I'm staying in here in Cairo. I'm here for the weekend. I'm doing an ADHD workshop in person so that I can help people in the area to learn how to navigate their nervous system. And I don't want to stay here for longer than 3 nights. 3 nights in a big city is my maximum. I choose to spend and live majority of my time in a small towns. Right now I'm living in a small town on the Red Coast, the Red Sea in Egypt called Dahab. I really love it there because there's ocean, there's mountains, there's hiking, there's adventure sports, there's diving, free diving and scuba diving, and I love that. And no, I don't have all the common conveniences that you would have in a big city, but I don't need it for most of the part. Most of the time I don't need these things, so what I do is I plan short trips to the bigger cities. I have a very clear list of what I need to do, what I need to get done. I go in and like a precision strike, I go in, I take care of my business and I get out, right? I need to get my iPhone battery replaced. I need to get some things at a pharmacy that I can't find in a smaller town. I need to get some technology that I can't find normally where I live. So I come to Cairo, I take care of it, and then I get out. Tomorrow I'm leaving town and I'm going on a 7-day road trip with my partner. I'm gonna go to even smaller towns. I'm gonna go to beaches and beautiful exotic sites where I can go diving and snorkeling. And so for me, the dose that is appropriate for my nervous system of a city is minimum, very, very minimum. So I wanna invite you to really consider if you have to live in a city, because many of us believe that we have to live in the city. Maybe it's because of our family, maybe it's because of our job, maybe it's because of some sort of convenience. If you believe that you need to live in the bigger city, just remember that you need to regulate your system. You need to get out of the city every now and then because the poison is in the dose. And even though you might feel good a lot of the time in the city, it comes with a price. So I'm gonna leave you with one simple technique, a simple breath technique that will help you to slow down. I recommend doing this at the end of the night, combined with putting on your blue light blockers, which help your body to know that it's nighttime, and so you can start to naturally step into your circadian rhythm or your natural sleep rhythm. And it's very simple. There are plenty more breathing techniques on my channel, and I can put those descriptions in the description of this video. The links will be there as well. But all you need to do is just inhale through the nose, exhale with a nice, loud, long sigh through the mouth, okay? It's gonna be twice as long in the exhale. So you're gonna breathe through the nose, nice inhale. I'm gonna do my best to keep my dust mask on for this dust storm here in Cairo. So inhale through the nose and release with a sigh. Set a timer and do this for 1 to 2 minutes, and this will help you to wind down and instruct your body through the breath and through the vibration of your vocal cords and the vibration of your vagus nerve that your body is safe. You can wind down, start to relax, get out of that defense, fight or flight mode, and enter into sleep. Until next time, I will see you guys later. And if you're gonna be in Cairo this weekend, surviving the dust storm with me, come to Numadi. I'm gonna be at the Danceabil Contemporary Dance Studio in Numadi, and I'm gonna be there guiding a group of people into regulation techniques and processes so that they can learn how to survive and hopefully ultimately thrive in the city environment. Until next time.